Well, my next guest had everything going for her. She was a cheerleader, a gymnast, and in the best shape of her life. And in one moment, everything changed. Take a look at this.
Growing up as a kid, you couldn't stop me. I rode horses. I played every sport known to man. I played softball, basketball. I was a competing gymnast, a cheerleader. I mean, my entire identity was based on my physical capability. And that's really who I was. I come from a wonderful, close-knit family. I had a wonderful core group of friends. One fell swoop, that all changed. My identity was literally stripped away. I was in a car accident. One night, my parents had left town for the weekend, and we got a wild hair in us, and my boyfriend at the time, and along with two other friends, jumped into a car and decided to go to Dallas. And spent a whole night at the opening of a new wave nightclub, danced and drank all night long. After that fabulous night, we all went out to the car to head home. I can literally remember the four of us standing around the car, looking at each other, discussing who was best off to drive. And in reality, not one of us was in any condition to drive a car. About halfway back home, about an hour and a half down the road, we had all kind of fallen asleep, including the driver. As he fell asleep, the car accelerated to about 90 miles per hour, and he weaved off into the shoulder of the road, and that woke him up. And as he woke up, he noticed we were headed straight toward a bridge embankment. And so he swerved the car, and in the gravel, the car skid out of control. We hit the bridge embankment. Next thing I knew, I awoke in a hospital with the doctor standing over me, and my life had changed forever.
Please welcome Carlana to the show. The doctor said something to you and you went, who are you talking about? But before I even ask that, girlfriend, why did you get in that car? I want to talk about that because I'm telling you, so many other people at home that stop it from happening again. Why did you get in that car? You're having a conversation.
It was a moment of bad judgment. And had I not been under the influence of alcohol, I would not have gotten into that car.
Well, you were laying in a
Changed my
hospital
life
and that
forever.
doctor came in and said, you're paralyzed.
Yeah.
What was your first reaction to that?
My first reaction was, hey, buddy, you don't know who in the world you're talking to.
Absolutely.
Me paralyzed, what does that mean? You know, I mean, my entire identity was based on my physical capability.
Cheerleader, gymnast.
Yeah.
Always out, run around, always.
Absolutely.
The life of, right?
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden, in a flash, that stopped.
Yeah. In an instant, I went from cheerleader to paraplegic.
And the first thing they did, and I thought this was just, you brought me to tears when I read this, they put you with a quadriplegic.
I roomed with a girl named Karen Jordan, who was a quadriplegic, paralyzed from her neck down, unable to even shrug her shoulders. She wore around her what you call a halo. It's a metal apparatus that stabilized her neck because she had broken her neck. And I can remember her husband coming in with her 2-year-old little boy who she can, sorry, who she could no longer hold. And I can see it clear as day. It's 20 years ago, and I can see it so clearly right now. Him having to lift up the little boy and tilt him just so his head could fit into the confines of this metal apparatus, so the little boy could kiss his mom hello. And you could look into Karen's eyes and just see the pain and the anguish and the longing. And she taught me such a valuable lesson.
And at the same time, there's a pain and longing, but she was there to help you.
Thank you. Yes, she
understand what it was like to be a paraplegic. Let's talk about this, because then you went on a journey that a lot of people try to go on, and that was, okay, I'm good for something, I know I am, but I'm gonna fix this.
Now, I'm gonna tuck it all away first. Yeah, I'm gonna tuck it all away.
Right? So you went on a mission, which we just laughed about during the break, because I found out about this. You went all the way to Russia.
Yes,
correct.
He speaks Russian. We were just speaking Russian together.
Oh, man. So you went all the way to Russia looking for what? A cure?
A cure. And in my mind, you know, a cure was all about fixing me, making me walk again. And after spending some time in Russia and learning... Years, 2 years in Russia, and learning how to really celebrate life. Fixing me was no longer about the physical. Fixing me meant learning to love and celebrate myself just the way I am. Skinny legs and all.
But then, see, because I'm telling you, you wiped me out. But I'm going to take a little break, because I want to also come back and talk a little bit about, even after you realized that, you took that step.
Self-destruction.
Self-destruction. Of course, now, because I don't know what, and I could say hindsight's 20/20.
Right.
But was it because you thought, well, I'm not good enough, I'll just accept? So what do? You get involved in a relationship with an abusive man. Now, stop and think about it. This is a man who is beating on a woman in a wheelchair.
Picking me up, throwing me on hard tile floors, and kicking my chair away, and making me crawl to my chair to belittle me. And it was very demeaning. Look at you now, you big reporter. You know, what if they could see you now? But anyway, I left. I first phoned my parents, because that gave me some accountability, because I knew once my parents knew, there was no way I could stay in that relationship, because I hid it from everyone.
So I'm going to take a little break. We'll be back right after this. But you know, and you said it during where you were just talking about the fact that this man is abusive, was saying to you, yeah, Miss Big Reporter, but there was a period, you were the first wheelchair reporter at one of the stations.
In WPLG in Miami, an ABC affiliate. I was the first wheelchair-wielding reporter.
But also, that was also good to be able to bring into people's homes the fact that even though we are, I hate the term that everybody always uses for us, of disabled, we're just, you proved it, we are just differently abled.
We are not.
So the dis needs to be out of the word.
We are not defined by our physical circumstances, plain, pure, and simple. In fact, these circumstances, for instance, my own, gave me an opportunity to find out just what I'm made of. And that's when we begin to realize our true potential.
And
that's when our true metal is revealed.
And is that when you decided to write this book, which is called Never Give In, Never Give Up? So you set about writing this.
I sure did.
And girlfriend, when you talk about never giving in or giving up, that's something that's foreign to you, is it not? As a word? Because let me tell you something, Carlana has not let this accident stop her. I want you to take a look at the things that she's doing now.
I'm not defined by this wheelchair. This wheelchair has become a force for me. I began pursuing making things happen for myself. I became the first wheelchair-wielding reporter in Miami, Florida. Following that, I became a well-respected producer of daytime talk shows in Los Angeles, segued into primetime network television, explored things like scuba diving and flying airplanes to dispel that myth that those of us struck by tragedy are forever victims. We're only victims if we choose to be. Well, the greatest accomplishment I can think of is finding the love of my life and marrying him. Being able to accomplish these goals, I'm living proof that we can do these things in spite of our physical limitations. 19,000 troops coming back from Iraq who have sustained permanent injuries. We are going to be able to give you a direct line to these guys. We have developed a website. We're going to have videos which will profile each and every one of these injured veterans. Their stories will be encapsulated in 2 to 3 minutes, and then you will have the opportunity to actually interface with them, ask them questions, blog with them, holler out and show their support. We've got Dave Matthews offering his support. We've got Brooks and Dunn. We've got Montel Williams, yeah!
Absolutely. Because I don't know if you know, I'm the national spokesperson for Paralyzed Veterans Association. And so, girlfriend, we need to talk a little bit more.
Darling, we do need to talk.
But one of the other things about this program is that you're also going to be providing services to these wounded veterans to teach them how to do things like scuba dive.
We are going to improve the quality of lives of these guys by putting them exactly through the kinds of things that I've gone through, because these are not fleeting moments. Jumping out of an airplane when you're paralyzed, or learning to fly an airplane, or exploring a new universe under the sea, you know. When you're paralyzed, getting out of the chair, these are not fleeting moments of empowerment. These are things that stay with you. And I believe it should be an extension to every single one of their therapies.
Absolutely.
And we are providing this free of charge, and we are gonna try to make all of their dreams come true. I mean,
We'll keep
they've
the.
got so many
I'm gonna
great
keep
stories.
the number on the screen.
Thank you.